Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Pierre, this is Simple Homebrew. I've got a great one for you today. It's one I stuffed up ages ago and I really want to make amends. I've got a product from Southern Tap and I want to make it for you today. It's called a Southern Tap Craft Cider. It's the actual lemonade with a splash of lime. If you're interested in products like these, stick around. This little beauty makes 20 litres. It's perfect for what I want to do. Put it into a keg and have it ready for midsummer. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful brew. It's interesting how you can get a product from overseas that's sometimes better than products that we get here in our own country. This comes from Southern Tap in New Zealand, the southern side of New Zealand to be exact, and the guys there brewed this product with a heart. So the product works and it tastes great. I did a ginger beer just recently and it's still going strong. It's really beautiful. I had to use a different yeast because I killed the yeast accidentally, just being an idiot. Now I'm going to make this one and I'm going to do it properly. I'm going to actually mix it into the fermenter and sprinkle the yeast on top and let it ferment at 20 degrees. All right, let's get stuck into it, shall we? I've got myself a measuring jug. I'll pour the product in there first, though. I'll show you what's in the packet. This is the Southern Tap cider packet that I'm using today. This is a Southern Tap Craft Cider Premium Low Carb Apple Cider Homebrew Kit. It's a lemon with a splash of lime. In the kit, everything is organic. So all you do is you pull your jug of juice out, and they've got a nice little label on the front there, which it says real fruit cider, concentrated ingredients, 100% quality fruit, nothing more, nothing less. Absolutely awesome. One good thing about it already. The next is the instruction manual. The instruction manual, please follow it properly. I didn't last time, I just did it my way. I'm going to follow it properly this time. We'll do that. And it also comes with some nutrient, which is just yeast nutrient, and some organic yeast. We're going to put that in as well. The packet itself, this is a 4-sided cardboard box with an insert, helps with transporting, so you've got a nice little insert. It stops things piercing as easily through the cardboard box. Double insert, double layered, much more safe when you get it imported. That product is available in a Queensland company. I'll put a caption here where it is, and I'll put a link down below where you can get it from. So far, the ginger ale is beautiful, absolutely phenomenal. Now, let's dilute this little fella. This is a 1.5 litre container. This is a 3 litre container. It's got sanitizer in it at the moment. I'll give that a quick rinse out. And we'll fill it up. I'm going to fill it up with just cold water. Our water here now is at about 20 degrees. And I'll just mix it up in this container first to give it a bit more of a dilution. And then I'll pour it into the fermenter. And I'll show you what the fermenter is as soon as I get there. Now, the instructions say this container contains a 2 kilogram bottle of cider concentrate, which is 1.5 litres of fluid, a sachet of organic yeast and a sachet of nutrient. In addition, you'll need a fermenter, 25 litre minimum, brewing sugar, dextrose. I haven't got dextrose, I can't do it. Damn, I keep forgetting that. Right guys, we're at the next day. I actually came across a problem, had to stop, come back into it today. I have started distilling. Just like that, as you can see. That is a rum that I'm working on. It's a third of the way through. It's going to take pretty much about half of the day to finish its distilling. So we're going to get back into it. I have a Firmzilla. This is a Firmzilla fermenter, really good. I'm going to put it in this one today. It's fully sanitized, ready to go. So it's a really good fermenter. If you guys want one, there's a link below. Check it out. What was missing yesterday was dextrose. I needed to get some dextrose. Added sugar for this brew. Just a standard dextrose, monohydrate powder. It's just sugar, basically, fermentable sugars, and that's it. All I need to do now is get it all mixed up. Now, like I said yesterday, I am mixing this into cold water. So what I'm going to do this time around is pour this straight into the fermenter and then rinse this out by putting water into it, shaking it around, keep going until it's up to its 20 litres is what we need today. Well, let's do it. Just quickly unscrew this lid. Oh, these lids, by the way, really good. Love them. God sent. Greatest invention ever made. I can actually use parts of it to actually undo these lids. See, there's a little thing in here that's square that is the same size as your nozzle, and you can just pop that over and undo your nozzle with it. Look at that. It's like a spanner. Unbelievable. It's got everything. Oh God, I don't know how I did without it. Anyway, right, pop this off. Tip this sanitizer out. Put that back. Now remember, don't fear the foam. This is foam from sanitizer. The sanitizer is a nutrient to yeast and it loves it, so it won't kill it. I'll pour this apple juice. Oh, it smells like it too. It smells good. Straight in. We do need to dissolve the dextrose, so I'll do that in a sec. I'll fill this back up and I'll keep rinsing it out until I'm about, 18 litres, and we'll go from there. Alright, right now we're at 16 litres, and I'm just going to boil the kettle. Put about 2 litres of hot water in a pot, give it a mix with dextrose and pour that in as well. Oh, just power went out. I've got a distilling machine running at the moment, as well as boiling a kettle. That's a lot of current draw, and I don't want to blow things up, so I had to wait. Anyway, I've got my jug. This is my nice little 3 litre jug. I'm going to pour 2 litres of cold hot water in there. I use this jug for everything. Just 2 litres. Just like that. I'll open up my dextrose, which is a Kegland one. Now normally, I put the dextrose in first, so I don't get coagulation around the top of the plastics. I just forgot about it because I've been distracted from this power cut that I just had, and it normally doesn't happen. I normally do it the right way. So I'm just going to pour that in really quick, just like this. And get a little stirring stick. Oh, now it's pure hot water, so everything's going to be killed if there's any dust or anything dirt on these products, and the hot water will kill it, don't worry. Now the reason why I'm doing the dextrose last with hot water is because I'm using a plastic fermenter. 100 degrees Celsius hot water will destroy the fermenter, it'll melt it, so it's not great. The plastic fermenters don't like being heated up to over 60 degrees Celsius. Well, 55 degrees is the maximum. So that's dissolved. Last time I ended up pouring the yeast in this temperature water. I don't know why I did it, I just did. I've already poured the nutrient in, so that will stir in nicely. And now we're up to, where's the gauge over here? We're up to about 19.5 litres, pretty good. I'll give that a quick stir just to dissipate the hot water around. Just like that. And the temperature of the water should be around about 20 degrees now. I'm hoping anyway. So where's the gauge here? We're looking at 22 degrees Celsius at the moment. 22 degrees is good. We need to be between 25 and 30 anyway. And now we're going to sprinkle our yeast in. This is organic Southern Taps organic yeast. It's really nice. Last time I didn't get it to work because I killed it. This time I haven't killed it. It's running beautifully. Now I'll pour that in. Give you a good look at the yeast. Look at that. Just nice little clumps of yeast. And I'll just sprinkle that on top. What's going on the phone? That's it. Yeast has a weird smell to it, this one. It's a bit different. I won't stir it in. It'll be fine without that. Well, basically I've got to top this up to 20 litres, don't I? Now, if you want a stronger flavoured apple cider, leave it at 19 litres. It'll give you a more strong flavour. I'm going to do it to 20 litres because I need to put it into a keg, which is 19.5 litres. So why not go 20? We're at 20 litres. Okay. What I'll do now is I'll pop that in my house, which is still 20 degrees. It's probably set at 18 to 20 degrees Celsius all the time, and ferment in the house because The weather here has been just erratic. It's been crazy. Last night we had this massive storm come through. I saw a river of ice, which is hailstones, running down the road in my house, in front of my house. We don't have anything like that happen ever. It's just unbelievable at the moment, I can tell you. So I'll pop the cap on. And this is pressure fermenting, by the way. At the moment it has a PCV on it, and we do have a secondary one, so we've got a way of eliminating any problems that we may have in the future. Now the red one is my gas post out. That goes on there. Right now, that should work a treat. I should be able to get gas coming out of this, and it should dissipate nice and easy. Hang on. In the past I've had trouble with the Keg Land products not working with the Keg King products. But that seems to have pressed the button nicely and locked on, so that's alright, that'll work. I'll leave it like this. I'll put it at 5 psi in my house and just let it ferment. Once it's finished fermenting, we'll do a taste test and we'll see what it's like. Alright, we'll see when that happens. Okay, it's finished fermenting. We're going to do some transferring now. We're going to transfer it into a keg. The keg we have is a Cornelius keg, and what I do is pressurize the keg to about 10 psi as I am sanitizing the keg, as you can see here. And once it's empty of its sanitizer, I then connect up the patch hose from the line out of the fermenter to the line out of the keg so that we get a minimal splash. And of course, I need to purge the oxygen out of the keg as well. All right, let's do it. So I have my keg here. It still has a little bit of oxygen in it, so I need to deoxidate it. Oxidize it? I need to take the oxygen out. And the way I do it is I fill it up with gas or CO2. Just pump a bit in there. Just like that. And just purge. A lot of the CO2 will settle to the bottom of the keg. CO2 is densely heavier than oxygen or air. And which is a good thing. So basically it gives me a chance to get rid of a lot of the oxygen. Not all of it, a lot of it. And we don't want to oxidize our brew from here on. That should be all I need to do. One more for good luck. There you go. Looks like my thing's faulty. Damn it. I'm going to have to work on this, fix this. It's not working properly. Damn it. Oh, there we go. Simple fix. The little rubber seal decided to come off. I'll put it back on properly now, so it should start working properly again. Sometimes you just got to do a little bit of maintenance. That's all there is to it. Now it looks better. See the gas on? Yeah, now it's pressurized. That's good. Now it's working again. All right, sometimes that's what you got to do. So all I do is get this guy, put a bit of sanitizer in the end. So when I connect it to the fermenter, it's not going to transfer any kind of bacteria. And I connect it to the line outside, which is the yellow one, and it transfers straight away. How about that? Now I'm going to have to purge this as I'm going. So we'll have to pop a air controller or a flow controller on this. So I'll do that while this is transferring. Now hopefully this will be great. Actually, the gas is slowing down, so I'm going to have to put some gas in it now. Hopefully this will be nice and clear and it'll have its own carbonation. I won't have to add carbonation to this at all. All right, I'm going to pop the gas on the fermenter to get it gassed up to actually keep it flowing. All right, I'll come back to you guys as soon as it's finished filling and we'll give it a good taste. All right, we'll see you then. So typical of pouring it and doing it wrong. It's my job. Look at it, it is quite cloudy. It does have carbonation. It does have a slight yeasty smell to it, but it is cold crashing. So the next one I do, I will cold crash it before I transfer. Usually I do that, but I had no room in the fridge. It's just gonna have to happen that way. Right, I'm getting an appley smell. I would have thought I would have got a lemony smell, but I'm getting nothing out of it. It smells decent. Not overly fresh, but it's how it is. 5% alcohol, I think it is. flavour's a lot different. Well, actually, that's good. And yeah, that's going to have a little bit of time. It does taste like juice. It's more like a pineapple taste with a lemony taste. The smell does not denote the flavour. It's really quite interesting. It's not bad. We'll give it a couple of weeks. That came out okay. I mean, the cloudiness is not. I'm not happy with that. But once I leave it in the fridge for a week or so, or even 48 hours, it should crash down and clear out a lot more. So that'll be fine. That's not bad. Not bad yet. It's going to be better because it needs time to age and clear out. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked it. These guys are a small company in South New Zealand. And I would like you to support them if you can, or go and have a look at their product and see what you think. Let me know in the comments if you've already tried it, and let me know what you think of it as well. It's an organic one, this one, by the way. It's a much, nothing's healthy when it's alcohol, but it's a much healthier way of going through brewing. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for being part of this channel. Thank you to my Patreon members for looking after this channel like they always do. I appreciate you guys dropping by and watching this video. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. I have more to come. Cheers guys, we'll see you in the next brew.